Hello, everybody. Welcome to Deliverable 3 Business Tactics. Okay, before we start, I'd like to remind you about something. If you submit a PDF file, I can't grade it because once a PDF file is submitted, it's basically locked. We can read it, but we can't go in and use it. And when I grade your paper, I always touch the text that you type. I need to be able to actually get into the file so I can grade it properly. Last night I sent a PDF file back to one of your colleagues, and I really hated to do that, but I can't help it. I need either a PowerPoint when it's required or a Word document. So please do not submit PDF files. Okay, so deliverable 3, what are we going to do? I'm going to encourage you to always go inside our online course and review the content. Next, come on over to this recording and watch it. Please don't just say, yeah, I watched it, because it's obvious when you haven't. Because when I start grading your work, I'm thinking, oh my, he or she missed these important parts. And then I have to score you low, give it back to you, and ask you to try again. Yes, you do have 3 attempts, but wouldn't it be nice to get everything right the first time? And that's what I try to do when I'm creating these videos. I try to go into depth, highlighting things, encouraging you to include the information, and then you can submit your first one, score high, and move on to your next deliverable. So please watch these recordings. They're designed with you in mind. All right, so we're going to talk about deliverable 3. We're going to focus on the grading rubric. Now, you know what that grading rubric, you should at least look at it 2 different times. First, look at it before you even start creating your deliverable. So kind of create a mental outline for you, knowing what needs to be included. Anything that's on a grading rubric gets graded. Okay, so now we watched this the first time. We looked at our grading rubric the first time. Now we're going to go write our deliverable. Doing a great job. Keep it up. Now pause. You think you're ready to go ahead and submit your deliverable for grade. Not so fast. Please go back to your grading rubric and be objective and review your work. Did you complete each item in the grading rubric? If you did and you feel confident you did a great job, then give it to me and I'll be happy to review it and hopefully we'll score high. Okay? We have 4 scenarios to cover: home daycare, robotic assistant, driverless car, and a flying car. At one time, I heard that the sci-fi movies have problems keeping pace with reality. When they start creating their movie, they think they're leaps and bounds ahead of reality. But because technology moves so fast in our country, sometimes what you see in a sci-fi movie is actually occurring in our country. And the same thing may be said about these: robotic assistant, driverless car, and flying car. So these ideas are not so far-fetched. I will also share some resources with you and some tips for success. So there's the content. Make sure you read it inside your course. Look at the grading rubric. It's in there. Now let's get to work. Deliverable 3. Please read competency, the scenario information, and then look at your instructions. Read the 4 instructions, or 4 scenarios below. For each scenario, determine the best target market. Okay, now let's stop there for a second. We're creating or identifying a best target market for each of the four scenarios. Explain your choices in a Microsoft Word document. Okay, so today we're going to use Word. Let's look at the 3 points. Identify the criteria you used to select the best target market. Select the best, now I'm adding this, selecting the best target market for each of the four scenarios. The characteristics of one target market should not be the same characteristics as the other products. Next one, explain why this criteria was selected over other options. Okay, there's a stumbling block. Several people will think, great, I can identify what criteria I will use to select the target market. And they proceed and they identify some really great criteria, but they forgot the other half of that point over other options. So what does that mean? It means when you're looking at a target market, identify characteristics that you would use and identify characteristics that you would not use. And then explain why you used the criteria you did, and here's a big step, and why you didn't use the other criteria. So focusing on just part of that is not going to earn a good grade. You've got to look at both sides. And point number 3, explain why this is the best target market. And for that one, we're talking the best target market for each of the four scenarios. Each of the four scenarios should have their unique target market composition, creating 4 separate target markets. All right, the grading rubric. I like to focus on the left side, the A column, the one that says 100%. That's what we want to earn on this assignment. So let's look again at these 4 points. Number 1, thoroughly identify the criteria you used to select the best target market. We're doing that for each of the 4 scenarios. Number 2, explained all the criteria that was selected over other options. So why did we select this over other options? Identify the characteristics you did select, identify the characteristics you did not select, then explain why you use these criteria and not why you didn't select the other criteria. You have to have both sides. Thoroughly analyzed the selection based on a review of professional literature. Okay, stop there. A review of professional literature. It's not merely your opinion. It's based on peer review professional literature. And if it's based on peer review professional literature, you should have citations in the body of your paper and references at the end of your paper. Remember, we're using APA 7th edition formatting. That includes headings in the body of your paper, which are 3 to 5 words, bold, align left. It also includes citations in the body of your paper. And you should have references at the end of the paper. And I stress that word references because that's the word used in APA. Not bibliography, not works cited, but references. Please remember that. Okay, let's go to the next point. Thoroughly explained why the best target market was selected for the 4 scenarios. To make it more specific, we should say thoroughly explained why the best target market was selected for each of the 4 scenarios. Why did I add the word each there? Because we're selecting a target market for each of the 4 scenarios, not one target market for the whole group, but a target market for each of the 4 scenarios. And then the last point, included 2 or more resources. Okay, one of your colleagues told me I shouldn't have citations in the body of my paper. I got references. Well, guys, that's not enough. In APA formatting, we have citations in the body of the paper and references at the end of the paper. We have to have both. The citations you put in the body of your paper should coincide with the reference that's at the end of your paper. Next, APA completed and done accurately. Watch out for your stumbling block there. In just a little bit, I'm going to take us up onto the Rasmussen University online library. I should point some things out for you in there. So we'll get to that in a minute. One or less grammar, spelling, or punctuation mistakes. Okay, so when that's one of your criteria, imagine me getting a PDF file. I can't find the errors, if there are any. And this is why we have to be careful what kind of file we submit for our assignments. We need Word or PowerPoint, depending upon what is required. Some will tell you to submit a PowerPoint. Other assignments will ask you to submit a Word document. There's a reason for that. Okay, let's go on. Scenario 1. You run an in-home daycare in an affluent area of Chicago, Illinois. Oh, this is my favorite one. I love Chicago. I'm originally from Chicago, and as the saying goes, you can take the person out of the city, but you can't take the city out of the person. It's always part of your heart. And Chicago, Illinois is definitely part of my heart. Okay, so that's scenario 1. Scenario 2, you are a member of the Google development team and have created a driverless car. Yippee, no more, traffic. I can just float right over everybody. I don't get stuck in traffic. I can be home in like a quarter of the time it used to take me when I had to drive the expressway to get home. I can fly and enjoy myself. So that's the second one. Number 3, oh, wouldn't that be nice, right? You have designed a robotic assistant able to perform common household tasks. How many hours does it take you to clean your house? Now, if you've been watching TV, you might see these great commercials about Swiffer or something like that. And there's also this vacuum cleaner that will vacuum your floor for you. But I found there's a catch there. Those little robot things that go along your floor, I was told you can't have hardwood floors. It works great with carpet, but no hardwood. I'm thinking, well, that kills that, right? But if I could have a little robotic assistant, they're even a little cute, right? If I could have them come into the house and clean whenever I needed them to do that, that robotic assistant can be plugged into the wall, be recharged, and be ready to go when you want it to go. That's not bad, right? Sounds good. All right, scenario number 4. You're a member of the development team and have created an affordable flying car. That's the one I was confusing earlier, right? Driverless car just means they get in there and they drive and they'll take you to and from. It's almost like having a driverless Uber. You have your own vehicle, you can go out there, drive it, and be there in no time. No headaches. And here's another one that's related. It's the affordable flying car. It'd be nice. You don't have to go real high in the sky. Just go up to the blue sky, see the white, pretty clouds, relax, kick back, be home, or wherever in a flash. Oh, would you be interested in buying any of those products? I know I would. All right. Now that we're excited about the products we're going to offer, we have to select the target market. What is a target market? You might be interested in this video. Remember, anytime you see that popcorn icon that tells you, here's a video for you. I prefer to watch videos any day compared to reading a lot of articles, right? So go watch it. And also on the very like what it did, it said, we're trying to find a target market. What is it? It's people plus problem plus seeking solution plus they have the money to solve the problem, right? That's your target market. So I encourage you to watch that video. Identify the criteria you use to select the best target market. You know, we're doing that for four different scenarios. But do we have some possible resources that might help us? You're in luck. This one, I really thought it was very helpful. It's from Inc. magazine, How to Define Your Target Market. On this slide, you can see that they're identifying 6 steps. But I want to zoom in on steps 4, 5, and 6. So, number 4, choose specific demographics to target. Why demographics are crucial to your business. Right now, what are some demographics we might use for each of the 4 target markets? You can see them right here: age, location, gender, and so on, right? So those are possible demographics you might use. And when you look at these, you don't have to just select one, create them. Step out of your comfort zone. Select more than one. Number 5, consider the psychographics of your target. What are psychographics? Right there is more examples. Your personality, your attitudes, your values, and so on. So we've got the demographics and we have the psychographics. We're trying to pull these together and put them in our target market. Now the next question is, how did you do? Point 6, evaluate your decision. I really like the questions that are raised here. I encourage you to address these questions when you're writing your paper. It will help you explain why you did what you did. Why did you choose these characteristics over others? And then think back to these 6 questions. It will help you explain why you did what you did. But remember, not only are we considering the target market, but we're also considering the criteria that we didn't use to select the target market. Explain why you selected certain criteria and why you did not select other criteria. Here's an interesting mix. You ever heard the word SWOT analysis? The SWOT analysis can be used for both personal as well as professional experience. You have strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths and weaknesses are internal to the organization. Opportunities and threats are external to the operation. You have to be able to be aware of all strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You want to take advantage of your strengths and your opportunities, and you want to minimize your weaknesses and your threats. In this article, they divide target markets into 4 quadrants. Sometimes you can have a present product or a new product. And then also you can have present markets or new markets. Now the key is intersecting those and what type of market segmentation or positioning should we take. For example, we have a present product and we're sharing it with a present market. What do we want to do? What should our strategy be? Market penetration. Now, what happens if we have a present product and a new market? What are we going to do? Market development. We've got to develop that market. Our product is already developed, but we're trying to get a new market, so we have to develop them. On the flip side, you have new products and present markets. What do we develop? We need to develop the product. We already have our target market and it's doing great, but now we want to introduce new products to the present market. And the last one, we have new products and New markets. We're trying to diversify. We know one thing we do does not fit everybody's needs. We have to be diverse in our approach. Now, look at another thing we might want to consider. On the right hand side, under the heading Target Marketing, it's talking about five criteria: size, expected growth, competitive position, cost to reach, and the compatibility. Compatibility between what? Between the consumer and your company. Does the product or service meet the needs of the consumer? Whether that consumer be an individual or a business. So those are other factors that you could consider when evaluating the criteria you selected for each of your target markets. Another article, this is found from NetMBA. It's talking about 5 target market strategies. You might have to squint to read them on the slide, but you know, in every course, after every deliverable I present, I put links in the course announcements to help you find the information. Now, this slide is coming in blank, guys. Not good. The rest of them are coming in blank. Hold on. For some reason, all of my pictures are starting to disappear. That's not good. We're going to have to pause for just a second. Oh, nice. We're going to pause it. And I'm going to double check it. That should be good. We should have this. Okay, there was a technical. Now we're back. Now we can see the PowerPoint again. I hope when we go to the next slide. Let's find out. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. There was a little technical hiccup, but now we're back on the road. This article talks about the 9 types of target marketing. You can see these, and if you look at these, you can kind of think back what we've already discussed. There's some overlap there. Remember, you can use, and you are strongly encouraged to use, more than one criteria for each of the target markets. There we have it, the 4 scenarios. Remember, explain why this criteria was selected over other options. Explain why this is the best target market. We're looking at both sides of the issue. What criteria did we select? What criteria did we not select? And why not for both of them? Think outside of the box. There's no one right answer. If there was, everybody that was trying to identify a target market would have no problem that all products would be selling and everybody would have a large bottom line. But that's not the case. We have to engage in strategic analysis, look at the criteria we're going to select. Hopefully that is the best criteria and try to find our target market. And if we make a mistake, we can always regroup and identify new strategies. So based on your readings, the videos, your web searches, and your research, and your live classroom, hopefully all that information pulled together will help you succeed in this deliverable 3. Challenge yourself. Be creative. Read the professional literature. Interpret what is being said. Synthesize the findings, which means we're reading more than one professional source and we're synthesizing our findings. Engage in higher learning, creative thinking. Did you know that one of the leading abilities employers want is for you to be able to engage in creative and critical thinking. So now is your time to master those skills. Check your work, please. Grab that grading rubric. Be objective. Did you succeed? Do you have any questions before you submit? If you do, please reach out to me. Okay, now here's something I'm talking about. The Rasmussen Online Library. It has a wealth of information in it. We can click on these different buttons and see how to format, include headings, get sample papers, include citations, include references at the end of the paper. Go in and click. This is hyperlinked. You can tell that because it's in the shape of a hand. But right here, the different buttons, click on them. Click. In-text citations. Yes, citations are a requirement. References. Yes, they're a requirement. Go over to Rasmussen University Online Library and check this sign out. I'm not asking you to do anything that isn't required in APA form. Let's go up here and go. I won't take you up there now. When you get this, you can click here, verification. What should be capitalized? What should be lowercase? What should be italicized? Are you missing any information? How do you know? By going here and checking out the requirements. If you stumble, I will help you. Headings, definitely use headings. That's part of APA 7th edition formatting. Actually, it came way before the 7th edition. Headings in your paper. Headings help your reader follow what you are saying, and therefore no information is skipped. If the information is skipped, especially in this case, you won't receive full credit, right? So we want to make sure we put headings in our paper. What are headings? 3 to 5 words, bold print, a line left. And there we have it. Deliverable 3. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm on your side. I want you to succeed. What do you think? You got it? Do you have any questions? Please let me know. Thank you.